Okay. And if you have questions, this is Christina with leadsandleverage.com. If you have questions, you can go ahead and pop them into the question box. I'm going to minimize that for right now while I'm doing the training, and I will get back to them. So you don't need to ask me the question 2 and 3 times. Just give me time to get to it on the list of questions. All right. So first of all, we're going to be working in Power Editor. I want to show you, probably most of you are probably working in Ads Manager. And if you did get your hands on the ads that I have, what you're probably running into is that my the text and verbiage in my ads are too long for Ads Manager. And that is because the limitations, and I put my Ads Manager up here. I have no idea where it would be on your side, because Facebook is not, they're not consistent in their user interface. But it should be over somewhere on the left. Anyway, Ads Manager's limitations, big limitations. You are very limited on the amount of text that you put in. You can only put a little bit of text in Ads Manager when you create your ads in here. You're also highly limited on your targeting. You can only target to a certain extent. So they leave out targeting stuff. So what you want to do is you want to go to Power Editor. And you may or may not be able to access Power Editor over here in your Ads Manager. You can access it with this direct link, and I will email that to you. But if you have this direct link, you can go right to Power Editor and do it. Couple things to note. You need to be in Chrome, Google Chrome, to use Power Editor. It does not work in any other browser. Safari, Explorer, Firefox, it does not work in any other browser. They designed it for Chrome. Chrome is free. You can download it. So you do need to be in Chrome for that. The second thing you have to note is that Power Editor, when you work in this, it's not automatically saved. So if you do some changes and you work in here and you do some designs, you have to be consistent and always upload those changes. If you don't, and you come back later and you download, see, when I go to download Power Editor, so the very first thing I do when I come into Power Editor is I download. The first thing I do, I click my account and I download. If I had stuff in Power Editor that I had not uploaded, it would overwrite them and erase all my work. So you need to be, it's kind of like the old days of constantly having to say save. I don't have to do that anymore because I do a lot of online cloud stuff and it saves automatically for me. But you know, when you do a lot of work in something and then the power goes out or your computer crashes and you lose all that work, this is kind of even worse because you just think it's saved and it's not. So don't make assumptions about how they save. Just do it yourself manually. So I downloaded everything. So my Power Editor and my Ads Manager account, that's what I did. I downloaded my Power Editor or my Ads Manager account to Power Editor, and I've now synced them. So now I'm in sync. So I have any ads that were pending that Facebook has now approved. I now have information on that in Power Editor. When I'm done editing, any changes I make, I'm going to immediately upload those changes, because if I don't, the very next time I come in and I download, I'm going to overwrite those changes. So just a couple things that you really need to know about working in Power Editor. The first thing you need to have is you need to have your ad up. So it's here. So this is the ad. I give it to you in a PDF, and you can print it. This is the whole PDF of it. You can print it, or you can just copy and paste, which is exactly how the ad is. It's a copy and paste ad. So we're going to work on this specific ad. And I walk you through step by step. You have, when you're working in Ads Manager or Power Editor, there's 3 pieces or 3 steps to actually getting an ad created. The first step is campaigns, and your campaign is the goal that you have for that ad. Do you want somebody to go to a website? Do you want somebody to like a page? Do you want somebody to take a specific action on a website? Things like that. So you have all kinds of goals. So for this ad, let me get this going. For this ad, our objective is to get them to go to the website, because basically we're targeting renters in this ad, and we are wanting them to go to our home search website. So that's exactly what you want to do. So the first thing you want to do is we want to go make sure we're under campaigns. See, if you look on the blue, wherever you're at, it's blue, so you know what you're working in. So I'm working in campaigns. It's highlighted in blue. I'm going to create a campaign. So the very first thing, if I go back over here to my ad, campaign objective for this ad is clicks to website. So we're going to choose clicks to website. You want to enter your campaign name. And typically what I advise, you can just copy this right over here, is you put your page name. So whatever your page name is, say it's, North Idaho Homes and Lifestyle, North Idaho. I just go like this, and I just put the codes. the reason now I need to put my page name because I have like 50,000 pages that I'm connected to. Because a lot of our members give me access to their accounts because I look at their analytics and help them and stuff like that. So I need to clarify what page this is going on so that when I'm looking at my list of campaigns, I don't get confused. You may not need to do that. You may only have one page, which is fine. You don't need to put your page name there, but it's your option. You want to, so and you're looking through your list, you want to make sure you put home search because this is a home search ad. We're driving people to a home search. And we're actually going to drive them directly to an IDX link. So that's why you would name it like that. The buying type, auction, always auction. You never want to set a price. If you set a price, you will either you'll either overbid or you'll be underbid. And you always want to be in auction format so that you could always get in the game. So you hit create. Your campaign is now created. So my goal with this one is I want to drive people to my IDX page that I'm going to have. It's going to be a home search and it's going to go on this page. This business page. So now the campaign is created. So now we're going to go over to ad sets and we're going to create an ad set underneath that campaign. Let's look at the ad here. So we have an ad set. These are all of the, under the ad set, here's all of the elements, all the way down to there, just on this page under this ad set. And I'll walk you through each one. So we're going to create a new ad set. And this is the one I just created. Remember, this is the campaign. Choose a campaign for this ad, use existing. Here it is. We just created that. And now the ad set name. When you get into the ad set name, this is up to you. Typically, this is an ad set label here. Typically, what I recommend is when you're doing your targeting, you want your zip code plus who you are targeting, homeowners, renters, fans of your page, email subscribers, website visitors, things like that. So who you're targeting, and then you want to do placement. And so we're going to go in through each of these. I'm going to actually pick a zip code. So I'm going to use a zip code of 83814 today. And because I'm going to go up here and I'm going to go for renters. Okay. Because I'm going to show you how to find that in there. And then your placement could be desktop, mobile, right-hand side, whatever you want. We're going to go for desktop on this particular ad. I recommend splitting, doing one for desktop, one for mobile, and one for right-hand newsfeed, because what you're going to find, depending on your specific target and your ad, you're going to probably find a disparity between the mobile people who respond to your ad and the desktop people who respond to your ad. So it's really funny when I'm targeting as non-techie as most realtors are, when I target realtors in my ads, it doesn't make sense for me to spend any time targeting them on their desktop, which is very funny. Or very interesting. So I spend all of my money on my ads targeting to your mobile. Little bits to the desktop. So with homeowners and home sellers, or home sellers and home buyers, there's no sure way. They're not all mobile. They're not all desktop. And in your own market, depending on the price range, you've got to run these tests. So this is things that if somebody tells you it's all one way, it's not for your market, for your area, not all urban areas. You'd be surprised. And what we're finding in general with all of our members, for the most part, desktop seems to bring in more leads at a lower cost. However, I'm noticing a little bit of a trend. I've got 2 different members right now that are showing me that mobile is working better for them. So in their things. So just be aware of that you kind of need to test both. You need to have an ad set for mobile. You need to have an ad set for desktop. And you'll want to do this because if it's costing you $1 more per lead and you're getting like one group, like mobile's giving you $1.50 per lead or per click to your website, and desktop's giving you 50 cents per click to your website, I mean, you're going to want to spend your money on what's costing less. You're going to want to readjust your budget. So just be aware of that when we do that. So this ad that we're going to be creating will be ad set, zip code, renters, desktop. Okay, so now we go in here, we're going to look at it, and it's not pulling it up down here, and I don't know why, guys. So looks like there's a little bit of an issue here. I should be able to do some editing of this. There it is. Okay, so here's what you do. I created the name of it. So now I'm going to go down and start doing my budget and start doing my audience and things like that. So when I look at the ad itself, we're going to do, we already set this in. I'm going to go to the details of this in a minute. We're going to go to our budget. Your budget for these ads, your very first time you run these ads, I highly, strongly cannot recommend this enough. Budget $10 per day for a minimum of 7 days. And don't touch the stupid thing. Leave it alone. Believe me, I know how tempted you will be to touch it. Just take $70 and run that as your test. Because if the ad works and you've adjusted and you know what works, then you're going to be willing to spend more because you're going to be getting the leads. But if the ad doesn't work, you've only spent $70 and you haven't lost a whole bunch by putting higher budgets. If you put too low of a budget, it won't give you enough of a test. So once you do these ads, you can keep doing them over and over again. Same exact ad. So I recommend $10 per day for a minimum of 5 to 7 days. And I would schedule start date. I would do it immediate, unless you're planning on doing it for next week. And I would not schedule an end date. This means you're going to have to manually watch this ad. If you're going to be gone or you're afraid it'll just keep going on and on because you forget to turn it off, okay, use an end run date. However, if the ad's performing really well for you at $10 a day and you're like, hey, let's keep going with this after 7 days, if you have an end run date, you have to start a whole brand new ad. You have to rebuild the traction that you just got on that ad, which it takes Facebook for 24 to 48 hours to really get that ad tracking out there. So you don't want to lose that traction. So that is a reason for keeping it on continuous. So don't schedule an end run date. Run the ads all the time. You run them all the time. You don't pick times and stuff. You want them running at different times. So now this is where we get into audience. Now, one of the things you need to really set up custom audiences. You need to do some target groups to save your time, because if you don't, you're going to have to go into every single ad you do and recreate a whole new audience. You don't want to do that. I'm going to do it in this ad to show you how to do it, but you don't really want to do that. So here's the deal. We're going to do, for ad set labels, remember it's zip code of 83814. So we're going to type in 83814. Oops, sorry about that. 83814. And it was renters. So you go into demographics, you go into home and home ownership, and you choose renters. Right there. So it looks like a potential reach of 7,800 people in this specific zip code for this targeting. So this is all I'm going to do. If you specialize in another language, if you specialize in Spanish or French, you're in some, maybe New Orleans, or you're in Quebec, or you're in Texas, California, Arizona, and you want to work with Spanish, whatever it is, if there is a second language that you'd really like to target, I would strongly suggest putting that language in here and running your ad in that language. You're going to have an even better results in that second language if you run that. Now, if you run that ad in that language, you need to make sure that you somehow help them in the home search if it's all in English. So you need to have that set up. But if you do have a second language that you specialize in, that's awesome, because you can get better results. So basically it's targeting, zip code, renters, and at this point, all ages. If you have a market that's just crazy expensive, you're going to want to put in some income demographics in there. Just kind of depends on that. Right now we're just going to go for a real general people who are interested in purchasing, moving from a rental to a purchase. Because that with this specific ad that we're going to be using is kind of it's an emotional trigger of, wouldn't you rather be living in your own home than renting? We're going to use the desktop. Remember I said the desktop newsfeed? So just the newsfeed. That is that center column that comes down. Let me show you real quick. So we've got, this is the newsfeed. This is the desktop newsfeed. This down here is considered these ads that come down here are considered the right-hand column. And then of course there's the mobile newsfeed. So we're going to do the desktop newsfeed. And this was already set in your campaign. It was clicks to website, and we want to get the most website clicks at the best price. So that's what you want to do. Don't set an amount of click to your website is worth to you. You limit. If you put a click is worth $1, I don't want to go more, and somebody's $1, then you're gonna lose out on that 1 penny one. So you're good. Your budget is set at $10 a day. They're not going to charge you more than $10 a day because you set a daily budget. So you're good with that. All right. So then After all this, we got, let me check, make sure, yep, got all that. Okay, so now we're gonna actually go into the ad itself. Okay, and I have it turned off right now so that I don't accidentally, I mean, if I upload, I don't want it to go live. So we're gonna go to ads and we're gonna create a new ad. Remember the campaign that we made, that's it. This is the ad set. This is the targeting. Now this is the ad, and you can run multiple ads under the same targeting. Facebook is really terrible at split testing or running your ads evenly if they're under the same ad set. So the intent was to be able to maybe run the same ad with 2 different images under the same ad set. They don't know, they just don't know how to do this. Their algorithm doesn't work. So if you want to test images, you need to create 2 identical ad sets with a different ad in each ad set, which is just crazy that you should have to do that, but that's what you have to do if you want to test images and test things like that. So enter the ad name. So usually what I do, I use for my names and stuff, I use the image description. So I have it because I run the same ad with multiple images. So I like to use the description for the image. And then if I'm running an ad that I kind of have a name for, then I use the ad name. So in this case, the image that we have for this ad is a barbecue grill for the specific ad. So I just would put grill and then the ad name, I can't remember that. Oh, wouldn't you rather? That's the ad name. So wouldn't you? This allows you to, if you are running opposing ads so that you can split test them, this allows you to know right off the bat that, okay, this image is working really well, this other image is not. You can pause the other one, keep that one going, things like that. So it helps you adjust on the fly. So I created that. So there's my ad, and it's telling me I have all kinds of errors. Well, of course, because nothing's done in there. So I want to pull up the page that I'm going to use. I'm not actually going to run this ad. So we're just going to pretend, because I would not put this out on my leads and leverage, because you guys are realtors. You don't care about a house in my home search in my market. So leadsandleverage.com. So you want to pick your page, because you have to have a business page in order to run an ad, period. So you need to pick the page to connect it. If you don't want to connect it to a Facebook page, I mean, you still have to have a page to do this, to get into all of this. However, if you don't want to connect it to a Facebook page, you won't be able to run anything in the newsfeed. And quite frankly, the newsfeed, remember that center column on mobile and on desktop, that's where the majority of your results are going to come from. You're not going to get as many results from those right-hand ads. So you can do single image. For this ad, single image. Absolutely. So in here, the website URL. The website URL is your first-time home buyer search, because we're targeting renters, remember? So you need to go into your IDX and you need to create a search that's specific for homes in your market that are for first-time home buyers. And you need to get the URL. Search link. This is a fake link, but that's what you would put here. So it could be a really long one, that's okay. You can put a really long one there. Do not use link shorteners in your ads. Facebook will shut your ads account down. They do not want to see link shorteners, even here, nowhere. Don't use link shorteners. It doesn't matter if the link is 5,000 characters long, as long as it's a real, legitimate, transparent link. So, I mean, well, I guess it does matter. You have 1,000 characters for your link. You don't have 5,000. See the link there. So this is where your IDX search, you don't go to a generic search, go to a very specific. You've already created the search. It's for first-time home buyers. You're going to link them right to that page. Now, the display URL, we can keep going up here. So right now, it just shows the link on there, okay? Up here, the order has changed just slightly. The display URL is the display link. So we're going to keep going down here. So this is the text that you could just copy and paste right over. So here's the text box, copy and paste the text. You're going to have to edit, do some little bits of editing, because there are going to be some phantom spaces and stuff. Here's a couple things that you need to be aware of. Let me get this fixed up here. Okay, so here's a couple things. First of all, right here in this text, this is the text that goes at the top like it's a post, okay? right now, capitals are converting a little bit higher than normal case. So I would be very specific. And on your headline, whatever you're capturing here, whatever your capture headline is here, capitalize it. You don't want it to be sentences long. 5, 6, 7 words is fine. Put spaces so people can visually see what you're asking very quickly. Put spaces there. Okay. I forgot I did this wrong, guys. Secondly, sorry about that. Secondly, one thing you want to do is include the link in your text. Okay. I know that they say put it down here and it'll publish down here and people can click on the picture. However, my click-throughs more than double when the link is right in the text. And it's not just mine. That's not anecdotal. That's that's what's going on right now. So include your clickable link in this kind of status update text itself. Okay. Make each paragraph very short. Don't put a bunch of words out there and expect people to read it. They won't. You've got like 6 seconds to capture their attention because they're literally flying through their feed. I mean, they're going like this, okay. And on their phone, they're even faster. So you just want to make sure that you capture it, make it easy for them to read, and you want to capture their attention with this and the image that we're going to use. Okay, so go back to the ad. We have a link description. Now that actually goes right here. Okay, and I know the verbiage, I created these in December, these formats here with link description verbiage, and it's changed already. So, but that goes, let's see, sorry. Link description goes here. So when you watch this, it's going to, there, see where that link was? Did you see that change? If I take that out, it's going to default to the link that you put in, and you don't want to do that. You want something intriguing there. You want them to do something with that. Let me make sure I messed that up. Sorry, guys. That's what this is. They've changed the order of this. So here. So the time is now is what that's going to do. This one, the you can own it, goes right below this headline. And I'll show you. That is here. I'll show you. See right there? Has it right there. And then the headline. And that's going to replay. You can't see this because I have to scroll down to do this. But right here, this link thing here, you're going to change that. You're going to get rid of that. And you're actually going to give them a headline. Going to pop in for you. Okay, so it's literally copy and paste for those things. Okay, now you need an image. You need a very specific image size, and you need an image that converts. And these ads, we have tested them. These images convert, and you'll have a link when if you use these ads. There's a link in there to the Shutterstock, so you can purchase the image. You have to purchase the right to use it. They are at the very most expensive is $10. For the image. And once you have the image, you can use it. You cannot share it. No, you cannot share it. Shutterstock's pretty vigilant about their copyright enforcement. So just make sure you purchase the link yourself and use it yourself. When you go to select the image, you need to have an image that's this size here. When you download an image from Shutterstock, or you take another image that you've taken, you're going to need to resize them. So you'll use Power Editor for that. So real quick, I'll just go in here. You can pull the image into Power Editor. I'll show you real quick how to size it. Into PicMonkey. Sorry about that. See, Photo Editor, got Power Editor, all those words. You can pull the image into PicMonkey. And the first thing you want to do once it pulls it in, you want to go down to resize. And you want the width needs to be 1200. And so right now we're just going to leave it at that. That's the highest resolution because it's automatically keeping proportions and changing. So we apply that here so that you don't distort the image. We keep the width at 1200 and your height needs to be 628 so that you don't distort the image. You're going to have to crop a little bit. So you can adjust where you want this to be and just apply and then say save. And I'm going to just add image by 628. Okay, I'm going to save it to my desktop real quick so I can show you. So that's a really quick how to resize an image for your ad. Just a minute. All right, so we go to Power Editor. We're going to select our pre-sized image that we know converts. And we have to go to upload images and we have to bring it in to the program. I said it was add image. There it goes. And we just wait. And in some cases, we wait and wait and wait and wait for it to upload. Okay, and it's right there. It is right there. Confirm. So it's in there. See, it's the right size. They like the size on there. We go back over here and you check the call to action button. And in this one, what worked for us best was shop now for this particular one. So when you go up here, you can look at the ad itself. You can get an idea. There's your page. There's the verbiage. That's what it looks like. Check for spelling mistakes. Check for visual. How hard is it for them to see? Is it all a bunch of text, or does something stand out? Check to make sure the image looks good. Check to make sure you've got a pretty decent, encouraging, emotional encouragement, why they would want to do this, and a good call to action button there. So there's the ad. Your ad is actually done at this point. You can adjust, turn it on. I'm going to turn the entire campaign off, but you can turn it on, and then you can hit upload. I'm gonna go ahead and upload the changes you want to upload. They're going to let you know if there are any errors in the ad or anything like that. And if they tell you, then you need to fix the errors so that they'll take it. So now that ad is done. Okay, an ad and going, and that is all there is to the process of the whole copy and paste. Put it all in there. I'm trying to make sure I didn't forget anything. I probably did. I'm going to go through questions, you guys, and kind of hit them and show you. If you have, want me to redo anything, I will. So let me go through. Let's see. So Mary's asking, how do I enter a link in the text field? So hopefully I was able to show you that. But if right here under text, all you have to do is copy and paste the text in. So I copied and pasted it right from here and put it into here. And Michael, reminded me. So that not only in Ads Manager, not only are you limited by the amount of text that you can put here, it's very, very severely limiting. It's like 30 or 40 characters most. And you're limited by targeting, but also you can't put links in the body of the ad, basically here. And that is it's increasing conversions, and that's what you want. It's something so simple, so easy. It doesn't take you any time or money. You want to create that, you want to make sure something so simple will increase it. So go ahead and use it. So Virginia said, I don't have this ad. How can I get it? This ad is part of the 3 that I was offering, and I will send you guys a link in the email. If you didn't get that, like when you got the cheat sheet, if you didn't get the cheat sheet, I'll send you that link. But when you got the cheat sheet, then you were offered the chance to get 3 already made ads that you could just copy and paste in. And this is one of them in there. So, and I'll send you that link. So Deborah K. Okay, I know you guys can hear me. Deborah K said you can't hear anything. I hope you could. So John Miller's asking, as far as creating the ads themselves, is that something you teach to your members, or are there pre-made templates? Both, John. Actually, we have, I create ads and then I test them in multiple markets. And once they're tested, I give them to everybody that are members to use as they want, and let them know. We kind of go over the stats. Like tomorrow we have it's a seller ad case study. It's a seller ad that I created and put up in the members section, but I'm walking them through the exact case study of like what was set up correctly to get the conversions it was getting, things like that. But then we also go through and do full detailed trainings on exactly how to write the ad. And then when they bring it to the members group, we all sit there and attack them. No, I'm just kidding. You probably need to change this. You need to tweak this. If they're not getting the conversion somewhere, we'll go through and analyze it and show where that leak is, and help them close that leak. So it's both of that. And some of the ads, quite frankly, some of these ads won't resonate in some markets. These ads have resonated in all the markets that we've used them. The key to getting them to work is having the right search link and doing the right targeting. And that's usually the biggest key, is the targeting is off. Or maybe you just don't have the right targeting there. like maybe you shouldn't be targeting renters. Maybe you should be targeting everybody with a certain demographic. It's just, there's a little bit of gray area on that because it depends on the market. And for the most part, the images are pretty universal on those. So Ronaldo is saying, when I put a different language, is the ad going to be in the different language, or is it for me to help other people with that language? You actually have to write the ad in their language. And you have to make sure that if you're linking from that ad to somewhere, that wherever you're linking to is in that same language. So one of our agents is in Texas, and she does a lot in Spanish. And she loves it because she's really the only agent helping people through getting Facebook ad leads. So her Spanish market is basically not seeing any ads. So they see hers. It's great for her. It's awesome for her. So Jennifer's asking, I know you're teaching us to run the ad on Facebook. Can we use these ads on Craigslist? Have you tried? No, you cannot use them on Craigslist because Craigslist terms of service require that it be a single specific property. You can't use generic stuff like this anymore. These are the types of ads we used to run all the time on Craigslist and got like huge. It was awesome. But then everybody started doing it. Anyway, so now you can't. These are generic ads, meaning it's a home search for first-time home buyers. It's multiple homes. You're not allowed to do that on Facebook, Craigslist, and they constantly shut you down. And you can't put links in the ads. So you'd have to run a very specific ad for a very specific house on that, Jennifer. Let's see. Greg said, is there something preventing you from using the Shutterstock images right from within Facebook? Yeah, Power Editor has a stock button that links to some Shutterstock. It's only certain ones. It's not the entire Shutterstock library, just so you're aware. And there's nothing stopping me or preventing me. It's just that I've tested images. So I take the images that work, and I want to have that image in my possession because I want to test it in multiple markets, and it's not consistent where those Shutterstock images are available in Facebook. And I want to own the right to use that image. So you could probably find them and you could test them. Go for it. You're going to need to spend the time to test it though, because some images don't seem to resonate. It's very interesting how much difference a single image makes. Even it could be it could be both of a house, but just one resonates with your specific audience that you're targeting. Christopher said, I may have missed it. Did you create a pixel? No, this is not targeting email subscribers or website visitors. This is targeting renters in a specific zip code. So there's no pixels needed for this one. Greg said, can you use the stock images instead of purchasing your own? The stock images, I'm assuming you're meaning from Facebook. So two Gregs. So Greg F asked it once, and Greg M is asking it. Sorry, guys. I was like, wait, didn't you just ask an image? But it's just two Gregs. Sorry. No, there's nothing. Like I said, you can use your own. I have a lot of images that I've taken and I've tested them, and I use them. And if they work, then I use them I test conversions. My goal is not just to put an ad out there. My goal is to put an ad out there that actually draws people in and gets them to take action and click and go to my site. Because even now, and this is where it's getting into advanced, and I'm not going to show you how to do this today, but even if they don't register, because you need to make sure you have registration on that IDX link, they can see the search of homes, but if they want to see details, have registration on there. Even if I don't capture their name, email, and phone number on that visit, they've now been to my website. I can now retarget them with a pixel and a different ad because they've been to my website, they've visited. They're now part of another audience that I can do another layer of targeting to. So my goal is to drive. I want to make sure they're targeted. I want people who are interested. I don't just want people clicking, but my goal is to drive the traffic there. So Marcy's asking, where does the call to action button link to? Actually, this whole thing here, if they click on this link here, if they click on your picture, or if they click here, it all links to the link that you put right here. So that's where it links to. Ronaldo's saying, I did not get the cheat sheet. Can you please help me? Yep. Yeah, I'll send out an email, Ronaldo. John, are you asking the monthly amount for Shutterstock or the monthly amount for Facebook Domination Secret? Shutterstock, you can buy individual. I'll answer both because I'm not sure which one you're asking. Shutterstock, you can buy like 5 photos for $50, or you can do a whole month, or you can do a contract with them. So you have any of those options. With any of those. With Facebook Domination Secret, if you go through the cheat sheet path that I have, you get the cheat sheet, you get the ads, and then you upgrade right there. It's $97 a month. If you don't go that way, it's $147 a month, and there's no contract, and that's for Facebook Domination Secret. You could join for 1 month or forever. It's totally up to you. It's an awesome group. So Jackie says, can you do 3 ads at a time or switch them out? And if so, how often? Okay, so here's the deal. If you run the ads to the exact same target audience, you're kind of at the same time, you're competing against yourself. You don't want to compete against yourself because you're going to be paying against yourself. So you want to run, if you run them, yes, you can run them at the same time, but use them to different target audiences. So for example, this ad, I can run this ad one to my 83814. So I'm going to go over here to ad set so you can see it. So I could do it to 83814. If I have another zip code, I could do that exact same ad to another zip code, 83854, for example. So I'd be running that ad, or I can run a different ad, but to a different zip code. So you don't want to run the same an ad to the exact same target because you're going to compete against yourself and you're going to end up paying more. So yes and no to your question, Jackie. So Eric's asking, what are some of the best options, demographics you have found that you use for directing to the best users for real estate in general? So I think that you're asking which targets seem to work the most. Is that kind of in most markets? And that actually, this is not a brush you off on that one. It is so dependent upon your market. For the most part, you want to absolutely start with a zip code because you want to narrow it down to a zip code. Secondly, you can either do renters or homeowners or people in general. So these 3 all work. There's different variances. If you're going for a little bit more traffic and a little bit less targeting, I would not use homeowners or renters. However, we have some members that they do not want to work with buyers and they don't want to attract buyers purposely. So they only target homeowners. Even though, you're using targeting here in Facebook and their targeting is not perfect. What I mean by that is maybe there's 10,000 people in this zip code that are on Facebook. And when you narrow it down even more to homeowners, maybe only 3,000 are showing that they're homeowners. Well, the reason that only 3, and maybe for a fact there's 6,000 homeowners in that zip code. The reason it's only showing 3,000 is because of the data reporting services that Facebook contracts with. They can only connect 3,000 of those 6,000 homeowners with Facebook users on the account. So, or with accounts on Facebook. So by going much tighter, it's going to be a much tighter ad. It's going to be really good. It might cost you more per lead. However, your conversion rates will typically be higher. So you have to decide what that payoff is and what your goal is. If your goal is to drive generic interested traffic to a specific page on your website so that you can then retarget them through ads, you're going to want to do the more generic ads. So I know that doesn't answer your question. It depends on the goal. The very first thing, though, I would definitely narrow by zip code, not city name, zip code. Because if you do city name, they include 25-mile radius. You want to do by zip code. So that's the one that's yes across the board. The rest are all really dependent on your goals for the ad, for your business, for your lead generation, etc. Iris says, I missed the demographics part. I had to take a call. Where do I find it? We didn't actually really go into full details on demographics. We just took it off of, let me pull up the ad. The ad here where I said, here's some options that you have that really work for this ad, for this specific ad. So these are your targeting things. And you might find if you live in any really high cost of living area, if people tend to really bunk up together, like lots of roommates, and most people, it takes a lot to afford a house, like maybe Berkeley or maybe New York City and any other areas that are really high where new homes are 700,000-800,000. Then you're going to want to put some income demographic information in there. If they need to be making, $150,000 a year to even afford to buy a first time home there or whatever that number is, I'm just throwing that out. But if you know that there's a specific amount that they have to make, put those income demographics in there. You want people who are qualified. And so you don't want to assume that just because they're a renter in that zip code means that they can qualify. You know what I mean? So it's another way to qualify people. So John says, is there a contact manager to reply to leads as part of your system? No, I'm for Facebook Domination Secret, it's really, I'm training and showing and giving factual, actual this works stuff. I do a lot of research on like what you might want to use and stuff, but a lot of people come in with their own stuff and use, their own CRM. They use their own stuff. There's a couple things that I recommend if you're going to do like an ethical bribe process. You'll want an email specific software, things like that. But it's really dependent. For this one, for this kind of ad, it's very specific. You need to have an IDX, and I teach you, you need to have an IDX that allows you to do jump links. And by jump links, I mean, remember I said a first-time homebuyer search for this specific ad. You want to create your own link that is a first-time homebuyer search, which is usually a specific price range or a specific type. It might be condos. You might be in a market where first-time homebuyers can only afford to buy condos. So you need to do a first-time homebuyer condo search. And that's where you're going to link them to. So you want an IDX that does jump links. You want an IDX that allows you to decide where registration goes, where forced registration goes, things like that. So we don't have we're not a software, I guess is what. So we're not a software we can absolutely advise, because what we've used, there's a lot of great agents in the membership that we all interact. Like I'll throw something out. Hey, so-and-so was saying this is a pretty good. Has anybody used this? And I'll ask in that group. And for the most part, all of us somewhere have used it. So we can give feedback on it. So Eva says, why is this has to go to IDX? I'm using landing page. This specific ad is for a first-time home buyer search ad. If you're going to use a landing page, you're going to do a different kind of ad, and you're going to want to make sure that landing page captures information. So your ad's going to be worded differently, because if you just send somebody to start, you're telling them, hey, come look at properties. In this case, I would do first-time home buyers. I would also do ones with backyards. Make sure there's backyards for them to have a little barbecue, or it doesn't matter how big it is, but you're not going to want to send them to, hey, get qualified, because it's going to be a disjoint between the ad that you're creating and where you're sending them. And not only that, Facebook might actually shut your ad down because you're taking them somewhere else instead of where you say you're taking them. So you'd want to do a different ad for a landing page. Deborah K asks, will you be posting this? I couldn't hear from the start. Deborah K, yeah. Deborah K is a Facebook Domination Secret member. I will have the full replay plus notes and stuff for you in the FDS powwow section. Mary Gomez asks, is Photo Editor an app or a program I need to buy? No, actually, you can purchase a higher level of it's PicMonkey, and I'll send you the link. You can purchase a higher level, but for doing the two things that I did in this, it's free. I did the resize, and then I did a crop. It's free. Those are free things that you can use. Greg says, with Ad Manager, you can use up to 6 images in the same ad set. Can you do that in Power Editor? You can. However, they don't rate. You can do multiple images. However, they don't actually. This is not a split testing. This is multiple pictures for the ad. They don't split test it right. They suck at it. So if you're thinking it's like hey, one time the ad will show this picture, another time the ad will show this picture, they don't do it evenly. They don't. So don't use it for split testing. You can do multiple images right here and links in one ad. But again, you're going to really water down. If you do that, you're going to water down your results. You're not going to have the conversions that you want. You want one focus. I talked about this last week. You want one focus, one action, one purpose, and you want it to all be the same. So you want to keep that in mind. Don't use multiple images in the same ad. And now I know you said ad set, but yes, you can in multiple ad images here. And you can absolutely do it in ad sets, but it doesn't. Facebook's really bad about getting those out. I hope you guys can still hear me. It just says a D. Okay, good. I need to mute for just a second. I need water, guys. So just a second. Okay. So Ronaldo says, so I can do an ad in Spanish and one in English. How is the public going to find me? Note this, is this like a newspaper that people will buy and find me, or is this to my fans? So actually, I need more water. Sorry guys, just a second. So what you're doing is you're going out and targeting people who are most likely to use your services. So you do one ad in English, you're going to target people who speak English, who are most likely to use your services. And then you're going to say, hey, I've got this. Are you interested? That's basically what you're doing with an ad. They click through, show that they're interested. That's how they find you. You can do that in Spanish as well too. So that's it. That basically it is. John Miller, I'm so sorry. I've answered a few questions and I don't know what you're referencing when you say for you, question mark. Sorry about that. Could you clarify for that whole thing? I can't, my user interface on GoToWebinar doesn't keep you guys kind of in a conversational mode. It just throws stuff in. So it's very disorganized. Okay, so Greg is saying, how does Facebook use the zip codes? I have run ads for certain zip codes and gotten leads for zip codes not even neighboring that area. Any idea why? Yes. Okay, there's a couple of things. First of all, especially when you're targeting mobile ads, Facebook uses the person's stated place that they live. So, for example, I say that I live in Coeur d'Alene. I say that I live basically in zip code 83814. However, I actually physically live in zip code 83835, but my profile says Coeur d'Alene because it's the greater Coeur d'Alene area. So that is one way. You're going to target 83814. It's going to be people who are physically there and people who say that they're there. So you're going to get some neighboring zip codes because of that. Or, so I physically live here. However, and if I physically worked outside of my house, I would probably work in zip code 83854, which is where our brokerage is. So do you see how that could happen? So you have stated where I live, but maybe I work in 83854. So it's still going based off of stated where I live. The other way is if I'm targeting 83814, but say I say I live in 83899, but I'm using my phone and I'm in 83814 right now for today. So it'll pop up for that because it's location based on what you say and where you are physically. So that's how you get that crossover. And it just happens, which is why you want to make sure you have other targeting elements in place, but start with the zip code. Because you also want to get the reason it seems like that might not be good, but it's also good because when people are around town and they're visiting and say in our market, one of our biggest, we have some top counties, but one of the largest counties moving into our county is King County, which is 5 hours away. It's Seattle to Coeur d'Alene. So when they come to visit, they're accessing through our towers, through our zip code. Our ads are going to pop up in front of them in this market. Especially if we're doing general ads, not homeowners. If you're targeting homeowners in 83814, it's homes in 83814. So there's a little bit of a difference. So hopefully that answered that. Mary says, can you run an ad to both mobile and desktop, or should you run the same ad separately for each? So yes, you can run an ad to both, and yes, you should run them separately because you're going to find a big difference in cost and who's targeting and click-through rates. I used an example earlier that when I target homeowners in our market, I do desktop because in our market, desktop gets me more conversions, more people click through, higher conversion rate, lower cost. However, when I'm targeting realtors across the country, I don't even mess with desktop anymore. I put a tiny little ad in there for that just to be there, but I spend the bulk of my money on mobile because realtors are on mobile. And I found that out through experience, just testing and testing. So, but you need to test in your market. Then John says, do you do an initial consult for your program? No, I do not. You can come in, we have 30-day money back guarantee. So you can come in, you can talk to people, be involved and stuff like that. So I don't, but we offer the guarantee. Elon, I'm so sorry if I butchered that. Elon says, what or who do you use to set up IDX on your landing page so you capture info of targets? So you can use any IDX you want. Here's certain elements. The first thing I would do is go to your MLS board to find out which IDXs are approved in your area. I would start there. Don't start picking out the one you want first. Start with what's already approved. And then when you talk to these IDX providers, you want an IDX provider that allows you to create very unique links and put them out to the public. You want an IDX provider that allows you to capture name, email, and phone and choose if you want to turn off phone or turn it on phone, whatever you want to do. And we'll let you choose when you capture. If you want to capture immediately, if you want to capture after they've looked at the list, before they look at results, that's the best place, is show them the list. And then when they go to see more details, then that's when you request their information, because they see you've got the goods and they're willing to give information in exchange. If you let them see one or two properties too far, you've already lost them. That's too far in, and you're not going to capture the lead that you want to capture. So, but you want the freedom to put that where you want. So those are the major things that you want from an IDX provider. You also want an IDX provider that allows you to have very, very stripped down pages. You don't want any other way for them to click anywhere else on that page except on a property, period. No phone number, no email, no search, change the search, no get more info, nothing. Your conversions will suck if you have all of that. So you want it very clear. They're going from this ad to go start your search, shop now. They want to go start their search. Don't give them other choices. Let them see the search. So you want an IDX provider that gives you those elements. It doesn't matter who you use as long as you have those elements. Stephanie Parker asks, is there a way to exclude other realtors from the audience? Absolutely there is. The first way is for you to create a zip code search, and anybody who has an interest in realtor, who their profession is realtor, create a custom audience in audiences. Second way is to get emails and phone numbers, 2 separate lists, emails and phone numbers of local realtors in your market, and upload those as 2 individual, 1 for email, 1 for phone, 2 individual custom audiences in your audiences, and then exclude those in the ad. And that would be under the ad set. You would go under the ad set, you would go under edit audience, and you would go under here, custom audiences. You've created them yourself, and you click on it and you can say exclude, and then you can type in your audience that you want to exclude. So you've already created them and you've put them somewhere else. So absolutely, I highly recommend that you do that. Catherine says, for Facebook Domination Secret, do you personally use IDX Broker? I need some help making the distraction-free landing page. I do not personally use IDX Broker. I have used it in other clients' accounts. We use Flex MLS. So, which you have to be part of Flex MLS. So, but IDX Broker is great. So, and I know that there are several agents in there, Catherine, in the group that are using IDX Broker, and they're right now working on distraction-free landing pages. So definitely bring that to the group and ask. And the people who are using it actively will help you in there. And I'll make sure that nobody gives you wrong, inaccurate information on that. Virginia says, I don't have the FDS burst ad sheet you used. How do I get this? I'll email everything out to you guys after the webinar. Give me about an hour because I have to convert the webinar. I'm not sending out the replay, but I'll send you out all the links to PicMonkey, the Power Editor link, the ads link, Shutterstock link, things like that. I'll send you all of that. Okay, John Miller got your question answered. Okay, perfect. Christopher says, do you offer a one-on-one tour of Facebook Domination? I do not. No, I have. It's a money-back guarantee the first month. So you can check it all around, come join the group, and if you don't like it, you can have your money back. So that's your tour. You get a month on there. I do have videos, though, that go through it that are in the membership itself. Steve, good job again. Thanks. Yes. And Steve, yes, we need to get your membership activated. So Greg says, how would you change this ad for mobile versus desktop? Oh, the only thing I would change, Greg, on this literally is click mobile and turn off desktop. And then when I go into ads and look at it, it's going to take a minute to convert over. And that's it. You need to make sure, if you're running these ads on mobile, that whatever link they click through, it is mobile responsive. So you do need to make sure that that's the other thing with your IDX. It needs to be mobile responsive. I forgot that one. So you need to make sure, guys, on that. So, okay, so it looks like we're at the end of questions. This is pretty much it. You can ask me questions in the Facebook for Real Estate Agents group. You're welcome to do that. If you do try out Facebook Domination Secret, obviously you can ask all the questions over there. Otherwise, I think we're probably done. I don't see any more. Just a thanks, and you guys are awesome. I love you guys. This is great. I'm glad I showed you something you guys can use and do. And maybe it won't be next week, but it'll probably the week after. I'll have another training. There's more. You guys are asking about insights. You're asking about everything. So just ask me the questions, and if I get enough of a certain thing that needs a training like this,